versus Falco. Okay, so these kind of scenarios is honestly one of the most common scenarios in the Peach Falco matchup, where Peach have like a full hop, height, floats, and comes down with fair normally. And for Falco, doing backer, retreating backer, or up tilt is two pretty good ways to deal with it. So it kind of comes down to a mix up when Peach strikes and when Falco strikes. So as Peach, if you think Falco is gonna stay on the ground for a bit longer, not throwing anything out early, then you want to strike early. But if you think Falco is gonna act early, then you have to wait as Peach. So that mix-up is incredibly important to remember. And a lot of Falcos that know... Actually, yeah, I should stop there and talk a little bit more about that. A lot of Falcos that know that up tilt and backer is a good way to deal with Peach's float fair, they tend to throw out early backers and early up tilts. So just waiting for them to throw one of them out and then strike can be incredibly good. Also in this scenario, you gotta be careful with Falco dashing away. In this scenario, when Falco is hiding under a side platform, it's much harder for you as Peach to deal with that, especially if your float is like high enough when you are having the platform in the way. So yeah, keep that in mind as well. Sometimes it might be better to just go back to a platform, for example. Ooh. Yeah, in this scenario, either you had to like smash the eye out from the nair, and if you feel like that's still not going to be enough, then you just try to get the nair out. It's the fastest thing you can do. Sometimes you're able to trade even when you think you won't. This scenario from Falco, really common as well. After the down air, even if the up tilt is not guaranteed at all, to be honest, it's very common to see Falco do this up tilt. You can often use like either float after you get down air, or sometimes you just fall down slowly, wait for the up tilt, and then go in. A lot of Falcos overcommit with up tilts in their punish game when it's not even remotely safe. Okay, over here, nair doesn't lead to anything at all. Never nair in this scenario, especially not when it goes towards center stage again. This should be an up air for sure. And preferably, like, it would be to be preferred if the up air also was like overshooting, because they will most likely DI toward the center stage. So if you overshoot your up air, so you're closer to the center stage, it's easier to follow up on the next hit. So where you are when you hit your like one of your hits in the combo is very important. Like if you are more to the right or left, once you land a hit, can be entirely the factor for if the next hit is gonna work or not. Ooh. Yeah, that was the early up tilt again. Early up tilt again. And you waited out, so it was good. That was good. That's good. Ah, that sucks. That was unfortunate. Yeah, Crouch Cancel Shine can actually be pretty good for Falco in this matchup. So, sometimes it can be just worth it to try to fully space your aerial and then down smash after like his shine. I feel like that roll probably was a misclick. Yeah, that roll didn't serve any purpose, so I'll treat it as a misclick. Also, these downers, if you smash the eye upwards, you can actually often float before Falco's up tilt will hit. So in this scenario, you didn't smash the eye up at all, and you get up tilted right after. If you smash the eye on the initial down air, you would have been like quite a bit higher, and that might have been enough to not let the up tilt be a true combo. So that's very important to remember as well. When you get down aired, sometimes smash the eye up, like you just press straight up on a control stick. That will bring you slightly less down, and then you can often avoid the up tilt. Not always, but fairly often. So keep that in mind. You would have escaped this combo with a smash the eye in that scenario. Against Falco here, it's really bad to shield here. If he runs towards you, you will get pushed off from the platform and he gets a shine. So keep that in mind. Honestly, I feel like standing with shield like this almost never ever works. You can see Westbolt's doing that so much against people. He's pushed him off shine and then you're stuck in a combo again. And that time, even though he didn't run and push you off, you get pushed off by the down air. Here, you get pushed off by the down air, and then he shines you right after. So, yeah, shielding by the edge of the platform, bad against Falco. Also, these kind of up tilts, it's hard, but sometimes I would try to like DI right here, because you can see that he's standing by the very end of the platform, or like by the edge, and then it can be really hard to actually get the dash and jump in time before you like run off the platform. So how you DI once you're like on a top platform, or you know, above the top platform, it can be very important if you DI right or left. Against Foxes, for example, you can often see people DI in a way where Fox can add like an additional up air that barely kills you on top. These days, you don't see it as often. People are more aware of like when they should DI right or when they should DI left. In this scenario, DI to the left gives it a very, like, actually we're gonna go back slightly there. So yeah, pushed off. Look at Falco now. How much he's running to the left. He's running like half the platform and then he jumps. If you DI to the right, he wouldn't have been able to like dash nearly as long. It actually would have been hard for him to like get any dash speed at all before jumping. Yeah, in close quarters, if you expect Falco's lasers to come out, dash attack is really good. Sometimes you sneak under them, as you can pretty much see here. Also, if Falco goes in, like approaching with laser, throwing out an early dash attack can be very good to interrupt Falco before the laser even comes out. Obviously, Falco can start running in with shield to bait the dash attack, but then you can run in with grab instead. So it's a mix-up. In this scenario, really common for people to fall down and just jump and re-grab the ledge. As Peach, you want a down air by the ledge. So they jump into your down air and hopefully get the nair afterwards. But yeah, now he got the ledge. Yeah. Also a very important thing against Falco. Falco's up throw is actually not nearly as good against Peach as a lot of people think. You should DI pretty much like diagonally upwards behind Falco. Because if you do that, the lasers don't really follow up in a way where Falco have anything true at all. If you look, when I actually played against Santi at Genesis, that happened a lot. He got a grab, but I DI'd like diagonally up behind him. Probably slightly more upwards than to the left, but still. You should test it out quite a bit, but yeah, it's pretty much diagonally upwards behind Falco. And then the lasers won't hit you in a way where Falco have true follow-ups. He will be given positional advantage, of course, but much rather that than like a backer or downer. So yeah, those kind of lasers should not hit after that throw like that. Ah, that's a shame. But yeah, overall after game one, another thing like, yeah, once you float, I feel like you commit very early, very often. You're not very patient. It makes it easier for Falco to predict your timings. So don't feel so eager to always go down from float as fast as you are. Yeah, that's an important thing to remember. So Peach's full hop float height is good, but it does lose her to Falco's lasers from side platforms. So this laser beats the float, and then he throws out an up tilt. I'm actually pretty sure this is exactly how PP took my stock, the very first stock at EVO 2013. He was shooting a laser from a side platform. He knew I was going to fall down with Nair, and then I got comboed 0 to death within like 3 seconds. I think that was that tournament. It might have been some other tournament, but I think that was the case. So even though Peach's float height is good from full hop, it does lose to laser from side platform. So sometimes when you notice that Falco is on the side platform, like if we go back a little bit, so like here, it can be good to use fast fall down from the float and punish Falco as he comes down. So in this scenario, sometimes you should use predict that he's gonna jump and shoot laser from the platform. So you go down, you leave your float right away. You fast fall down, and then you down smash Falco as he comes down at you. Of course, if he throws out a downer instead, you lose, but everything is a mix-up in this game. Everything is a mix-up in this game. I'm just telling you that fast fall here into down smash is a solid way. Or grab. Grab sometimes is better too. Not in this scenario, I wouldn't recommend it because you have a platform right behind you, but sometimes the grab is a superior option. So, yeah. The point I'm trying to make is leave the float, go down to the ground, and punish Falco's laser that he's doing after leaving the side platform. But now, yeah, you got up tilted. Maybe not a D's percentage, but I feel like if you hold straight out on the control stick and down on the C stick, you can get slide offs against the downer, I think. Maybe not that percentage, but overall. Yeah, here, in this scenario, try to not commit to float way too early. Because now, you committed to the float very early, you're eating the laser, and now you're forced to up B and you die. Okay, he should not have done that backer, but yeah, he still died. So be careful with committing to floats when Falco lasers or Sheik needles are easily in play. Another time, you go down very early and you never overshoot your aerials. So you make it much easier for him to land hits on you. Yeah, also another thing is Falco, I feel like it's very overrated to try to like act out of shield. Like try to beat him. Up B can be okay sometimes, but it doesn't lead to anything really, and Falco's shine leads to so much more. I feel like with Peach, it normally comes down to either roll or wait and hope that he chased the roll. That's like the two main things, probably against Falco's pressure. The risk reward is not in your favor at all, trying to like punish him out of shield. If you roll, he has to guess that you are rolling, but he also has to guess in what direction you're rolling. And if you stand in shield and he gets a grab, if you DI accordingly, as I explained earlier, then he doesn't really get much from the grab either. So those two are the main things you want to do out of shield. If you have a read or like good timing on power shield down smash, that can be good against super early downers on your shield, especially when he's coming from way above. But yeah, main things, roll or wait in shield. That's normally what you want to do. Yeah, in these scenarios, it can actually be worth it to just jump out of shield with a full hop and move backwards. You're still in a shitty position, but at times it can be worth it. And if you have a little bit more distance to play with, wave dash back shortly can also be a good way to throw off Falco's spacing. Yeah. I feel like Downer could have been fine here as well to cover. He actually might have been getting hit by the Downer if you cover it by the ledge. It's a very common spacey option to try to get to the ledge fast as well. Yeah, that was a bit too early. Ooh. Yeah, I feel like your float cancel game could need some work as well. I feel like your timings on your float backers and nairs and stuff, they're not tight enough, so he doesn't really have to respect your float cancel as much. That was a good down air. You should have down aired again. Oh, okay, you went for a downer, you messed up, but the idea was right. The idea was absolutely right. So... Ooh, alright, I see you. That was quick, that was good. Yeah, that was good. That was a surprise attack. Overall as well, one thing I feel like you haven't done pretty much at all, now when I think about it as well, is turnip play. If you have Falco far away from you, turnips can be really good to pull. Because if you do a full hop, throw turnip, and it lands in like Falco's area, it's actually hard for him to deal with a turnip, and then you coming with like a float in that height as well. Even more so if you want to be next level, I'd love to power shield a laser and then throw, like do a full hop turnip throw and come at him. So he basically has a laser, a turnip, and a floating peach coming at him at once, which is pretty scary. But even without the power shield on the laser, full hop turnip throw that either reaches where Falco currently is or where one dash back distance away would be. That's where you want to aim the turnip. Anywhere in that area is fine. So either where he currently is or where one dash back will take him. Because if he dash back as the turnip is about to fall in that direction, at that point he pretty much has to shield. And if he has to shield, that's an advantage for you. Okay, maybe not the perfect example because it's higher percentage here, but we talked about earlier Falco crouch cancel shine after Peach do some aerials, and in this scenario we can see that gets pushed away too far and the shine is not an issue. But even at low percent, with good spacing you can space around that shine. Alright, see? Waiting a tiny bit here, waiting out the up tilt, and bam. You can even go for upper there. Yeah, Frenzy likes to throw out early. He throws out early up tilts almost every time. That's like most Falcos, to be honest. Like, almost all of them does this. Trust me. I played against thousands of Falcos. It's a very, very common theme. Early uppers, or no, early backers, or early up tilts, or both. Early up tilt, again. Yeah, that's... See? Early up tilt again. And he gets a combo. No. Yeah, in this scenario, like, those are hard to learn. But in those scenarios, you gotta be very, very careful here. You had no timing to get in here. So basically what I mean is, so right here, you pretty much have to give up the situation. You are not gonna win this situation. Because your float height here, or like your positioning right here, is entirely wrong for a laser. And you're not having enough time to reach him, so you should just like back off a little bit. You still have center stage, but if you commit here, you will eat the laser and then be in a bad position. Those are very important to recognizing his Falco once you shouldn't move closer to him. Sometimes you just gotta accept the fact that, alright, I can't win neutral right now, so I stay a little bit away from him. But since you went in, you were eating the laser, and yeah. Okay, this was a successful edge guard, but I will still mention it. Right now, right there. Now stock should be over, guaranteed. He has to up B below the ledge. You should already marry him here. This backer is unnecessary, and this entire sequence is unnecessary. It's good that you could perform it, but it's not what you should have done. Right here, stock is over. Stock is over, guaranteed. He can't air dodge back. He can't side B to the ledge. So yeah, his stock is over as soon as you hit the first nair. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure he couldn't have side B'd at least. Maybe, but I much doubt it. And even if you would be like doubting it slightly, what you could have done after this nair anyway is to do down air, cover the ledge, and then fall down with an aerial afterwards. But yeah, here, yeah. Turnip, unnecessary. Turnip you only want to pull if you don't have enough time to go off stage and hit him right away. Ooh. Ooh. It's good. That's the second time. Like in this scenario, unless you drop your float, it's no good way you can cover. Uh, there's no way you can cover a higher up E, because once you float here, double jump takes way too long. What you can do is to drop your float and then try to cover high, because in this scenario, you have to gamble between covering the ledge or covering high. They rarely go straight. Because straight loses to this float. If he goes straight, you have a fair or nair. And that's what they are afraid of. A good spacey here normally go for either ledge, because then you have to like commit and go out, or they go high because then you have to drop the float entirely. I'm not saying they can never go straight. It clearly happens, and a good player would take into account that it's the stupid option to go for, so sometimes it's smart. But normally either high or ledge, and then you have to commit for one of them. There you didn't really commit for either. And honestly, let me look that over again. I'm pretty sure he actually could have reacted to that beat, but I'll admit that Falco side B is actually very hard to react to. But it can be done. It can be done. Ooh. Okay, I feel like you die a bit too early as well as Peach. And sorry if I sound critical, but I just want to point out things you can do better, so you have more to work on and more, more notes to take with you. And trust me, I'm I'm the biggest critical of my own play. Okay, let's go over the situation. Laser F smash is actually not a true thing. You can actually air dodge out of laser F smash. I'm pretty sure you can always do it. So yeah, if you get lasered and you know like, oh, F smash is about to come, you just time your air dodge. You could have timed your air dodge to the platform if you wanted to be the most safe. You could try to go like just fully left as well to get behind him. But yeah, laser F smash, I feel like it pretty much should never work. Also another thing here, so when you avoid this down air, you should have just tried to go for the ledge instead. In this scenario, important to also keep in mind, sometimes grab. If you know that your opponent have enough time to shield, it is pretty common that they will shield. Especially against Peach, because people are afraid of Peach dash attack because it's a very strong tool. Yeah, in this scenario, I would probably still recommend up air. Back air doesn't really lead to anything. You got like a hit, but it didn't give you much at all. It does give you stage positioning, but I would much have preferred to see an up air that could have converted into a combo. You took advantage of the stage positioning though, but yeah, I still would have gone for the up air. Ooh. Yeah, that's that scenario again we talked about earlier. You panic into going into like jump right away, you eat a laser, you panic into a float, you eat the laser, and then you should be dead. Okay, you survive. He should have killed you, or at least given you another backer. But this is the second time in these matches, which shows that you have a tendency of panicking off stage, which you don't have to do at all, because Peach, yes, she sucks from the ledge and all of that, but getting back towards the ledge shouldn't be an issue. From the ledge, sure, fine. I agree, she sucks there, but in this scenario, you shouldn't die to projectiles as much. So basically, yeah, basically here, you can just fall down a tiny bit, and then Falco's lasers won't be able to hit you. Nair doesn't cover side B to the ledge. So in this scenario, you want to do down air. Maybe down tilt sometimes. I wouldn't really recommend the nair. It's rare to see people miss base their side Bs that much. Yeah, that was a free down smash or a free grab. Ledge. Still worked out. Yeah, in this scenario, you actually have to be incredibly fast to hit with up air. It's actually very hard to hit the up air before their shield comes out, but it is possible. It is possible. Almost always, at least. Oh, that was a pretty good crouch actually. Pretty good crouch actually. But yeah, I feel like we went over quite many important things. As I said, early up tilts, early backers, at least one of the two, very common for Falcos that have a rough idea how to fight Peach. So adjusting your timings when you go down from the float, very important. Smash the eye downer upwards, so he can't connect into up tilt as often. Very important. DI diagonally upwards behind Falco, like slightly. So it's not entirely diagonally upwards, but slightly more upwards. But yeah, work on that DI, then up throw doesn't lead to much either. Remember, when you don't have enough time to go in, then especially if you have like a lower float height when laser easily covers you, remember it's not worth it to go in. Lasers from side platforms cover full hop float height, so sometimes it's just worth it to fast fall down and then punish Falco as he comes in. Dash attack can be good against laser approaches. That was actually not anything Frenzy really did, but other Falcos might. Downer, really good to cover the ledge, especially when you get the Spacey off stage and they're not too far away and they can just jump back to the ledge. It's very common. Uppers more on platforms. Backer, nair, sure. If it kills, if they have very high percent, sure. Then if not, uppers is the way to go for combos. You also need to practice your float cancels. For the most part, they were not really timed well, and I feel like because of that, Frenzy didn't really respect them too much. I feel like that's most things. I feel like we went over a few more things as well, but that was the main things. That was the main things I feel. But yeah, I hope all of you guys enjoyed this set.